My name's Elizabeth Chun Hye, Chun Hye. I was born in Korea and I grew up most of my life in the United States. I work with United Methodist Women. It's a faith-based organization of about 800,000 women of faith that have been organizing for about 150 years with our vision of faith, hope, and love in action on behalf of women, children, and youth. So we're in every state in the United States, and you may think it's kind of weird that women of faith are engaged in climate justice work or environmental justice, but it's because we're called to care for God's creation, love our neighbor as ourselves, that this is fundamentally core to who we are. I came into this work, I wasn't an environmental studies major. I was actually political science and history, but it became very evident that with the climate crisis, if we are going to seek gender justice for the wholeness of women, for children, for those rights who are being denied, that we really need to address the climate crisis. And so that's why I've gotten involved, and many others. It's not because it's purely, to save the polar bears. That is also important because they are too God's creation. But for me on the personal, where my call was to work on human rights related issues and gender justice, it became very evident that to seek gender justice, human rights, we must address the climate crisis. As a person of faith also, it's very clear that God calls us to love God's creation. And I love John 3:16 because it says, "For God so loved the world." And in the Greek, it says cosmon, right? Cosmos, which is the world and everything that is in it. The author of John did not say, "For God so loved," the derivative of anthropos, "for God so loved humans." That wasn't the call, it was God's love for the world. And I think we often forget John 3:17, which says, "For God did not come to condemn the world, but to save it." And even that word save in the Greek, it comes from sozo, which can also be translated heal. So it's for God to love the world, and God did not come to condemn the world, but to heal the world. And so as a person of faith, our call is to be part of God's love for this entire world, for all of God's creation, and to be part of healing it, healing the poisoned waters, the air, the other parts of God's creation that we don't consider. And so that's what we're doing at United Methodist Women. At the local, at the state, at the national and international level, we are mobilizing as women of faith, saying to take seriously God's call to love our neighbor as ourselves and to love all of God's creation, that we are advancing just energy for all.